Hey everyone! If you are new to my channel, I do a little thing called Hall Week, which is for the 5 weekdays before Halloween. I do DIY videos every day that are Halloween themed. If you're looking for some Halloween themed videos, I'll leave links to some of mine up here, but that is why today is not a Halloween themed video, because I saved that all for Hall Week, which will be pretty soon. So yeah, recently I bought a shirt that I really liked. It was kind of like a loose fitting shirt, but the bottom was like sewed in such a way that it always looked like it was like perfectly tucked in, like just a little bit untucked but still like tucked in your pants kind of look. I really liked it, and then I washed it, and I'm really bad at like following proper washing instructions, and it shrunk. It's not so bad, like it's still okay, I guess. Like, it's a little high. It would show off my midriff a little bit, which I wouldn't hate so much if I actually liked my stomach area. I really liked that kind of shirt though, so I wanted to try recreating it. Today I'm going to be showing you how I took this shirt and tried to make it into the perfectly tucked in, knotted, whatever looking shirt that I unfortunately shrunk. So let's get started. So here's the original shirt that I mentioned, and here's the shirt that I'm gonna try to redo. I tried for a while to figure out how the shirt was cut and sewn together without having to take it apart, but ultimately I couldn't figure it out, so I started to disassemble it. And of course, anytime that I don't need my seam ripper, I see it everywhere, and then the one time I really need it, it's gone. I can't find it, so X-Acto knife it is. Thankfully, after cutting this one seam, I could clearly see how this shirt was constructed without having to take it apart the rest of the way. So, the way that the jersey material runs, the front of the shirt was actually probably cut a little something like this, and then stitched together a few inches from the bottom, and then a few inches from this spot and this spot, they were brought together behind and in front of the already stitched pieces, and then stitched together. When I had the shirt on, I used a safety pin to mark where I wanted to cut and how high I wanted to go. However high you cut is where the faux knot will be. This was a longer shirt, so I could kind of make that cut pretty high. Since I'm working with an existing shirt, I had to cut it a little bit differently. I want the knot tuck thing to be offset, so I kind of like did it to the side, which I think the original shirt is like that anyway. And then I also didn't want to mess with the fit of this shirt too much, so I cut it to more of an upside down U shape, like so. If you want the fit to barely be changed, do more of an upside down teardrop shape. This will still make it a bit tighter though, so I recommend doing this to a shirt that's a little more oversized. At the bottom, I put the right sides together, like so I could stitch up the bottom few inches. In the original shirt, the stitches are a little bit ruched, so to get that same kind of look, before I whipped out my sewing machine to sew up the stitches, I did some hand basting and pulled it a little bit to get that ruched effect. Then I went back over those stitches with the sewing machine to lock everything in place. And then with this section and this section, both a couple inches long, I pulled one in front and the other behind the already stitched section, pinned it, and then did the whole based stitch ruching thing. And then I sewed that section with the sewing machine. To keep that seam from flipping out and being visible, I just tacked it down with a few stitches. Now in the original shirt, it was actually sewn with the right sides touching, and I guess they just flipped it out and sewed it, but I couldn't really like flip it out very easily and get it into my sewing machine, so that's why I just did it with the raw edges sticking out. So yeah, I had to like tack the raw edges down so that they wouldn't accidentally show. Then I kind of moved everything around so that the first initial stitch would be covered by the piece of the shirt that was pulled over, and then it was done. and here's how it turned out. What do you guys think? I'm pretty happy with it, but part of me wants to go back and rework it a bit to do a wider U-shaped cut to make it more of a dramatic knot thing. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, please leave a like, feel free to subscribe, hit that notification bell, all that good stuff. You can follow me on all of my social medias, which will be linked down below. Thank you to my patrons for helping me produce this video. If you're interested in becoming a patron or learning about what Patreon is, I'll leave a link to mine right up here and you can go check it out. If you have any questions or suggestions for future videos, please leave a comment down below, and I'll see you next week.